The one answer that kind of stood out to me more than anything is about Jamar Chase. So Kelsey asked Duke, where do things stand with Jamar Chase and an extension for him? And Duke said, as you might imagine, quote, "It's a priority for us. It's something we feel like there's a framework to work off of. Should be a pretty easy framework to work off of. We believe there's a real framework to work off of." He used the word framework 3 times. Let me ask you a question. If you were Jamar Chase, how interested are you in that framework? Like, that framework has been blown up, dude. If I'm Jamar Chase, and I would imagine if you were Jamar Chase, like, yeah, we had a framework. And then what happened? We didn't get signed, and I went out and won the Triple Crown. I had the best season of any receiver in the sport. Guess what? The framework has changed. And I think, and maybe because there's so many other balls being juggled right now, from changes to the coaching staff to players they have to make difficult decisions on, cutting and maybe restructuring players like Sam Hubbard or, a Geno Stone or a Jermaine Pratt, to what we want to see them do in free agency in terms of adding players to the draft, and then the T. Higgins thing and the Trey Hendrickson dynamic, all of which are really interesting and really important. I think there's almost been this assumption, perhaps, that the Bengals and Jamar Chase and his agent are going to walk into a room and just pick up where they left off. Hey, we got close last year, and then there was the season, and we don't redo deals or we don't do contract negotiations during the season. But the season's over now, so all right, here's the contract, here's the framework. Jamar, go ahead and sign it, and he signs it, and they pose for photos, and they shake hands, and they go get an overpriced steak dinner somewhere, and everybody's happy. And maybe that's the case, but I'm not going to be surprised if it's not. The framework was last summer. Jamar made this easy. Hey, let's get the deal done now. Let's get the deal done now. Pay me now. Let's get the guarantees right. Let's get the structure of this contract right. Pay me now. Because if you don't, I'm going to go out and have a great year. And then guess what's going to happen? Asking price goes up. I think Duke's word is interesting here. Framework. If you were Jamar Chase, would you be interested in last year's framework when what you did this year was better than what anybody did at your position? Yeah, I'm not interested in that framework. Like, if I'm Jamar Chase, we're almost starting from scratch. This has not been talked about nearly as much because of the T. Higgins thing and because of the way the season ended and coaching changes and Trey Hendrickson's contract, which is being talked about extensively. If I'm Jamar Chase, though, man, we're not just, hey, go get the Jamar Chase file. Yeah, that framework, that loosely drawn up contract we had last September, go get that. Let's change the date on it. Get Jamar one of those nice pens you have for signing ceremonies, and we're just going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. Man, if I'm Jamar, if you're Jamar, be honest with me. Man. No. Did you see what I did this year? Yeah, guess what? New framework.